In the heart of the city, where shadows danced between dimly lit streets, there stood an apartment building with an air of melancholy about it. It was here that Alex found solace after a painful breakup with his longtime girlfriend, Emily. Seeking refuge from his shattered emotions, he moved into a cozy apartment with 3 cats, Midnight, Luna, and Whiskers. As weeks turned into months, a sinister presence began to seep into Alex's life. At first, it was just subtle flickers of movement in the corner of his eye and soft whispers in the dead of night. But as days went by, the occurrences grew more frequent and intense. The air seemed to grow colder, and unsettling shadows elongated across his walls. One evening, Alex sat on his couch, a book in his hands, while Midnight curled up beside him. Luna and Whiskers, however, hissed and arched their backs as they stared fixedly at a corner of the room. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. It was as though they could see something he couldn't. He recalled seeing a similar figure in his childhood nightmares, but he couldn't quite place where he knew it from. Unable to ignore the eerie happenings any longer, Alex decided to delve into the history of his apartment and its surroundings. He visited libraries, talked to locals, and dug through old newspapers. What he discovered sent a chill down his spine, tales of an entity that had once haunted the very walls he now called home. Its identity remained a mystery, but the details of its malicious actions were unnervingly familiar. As Alex delved deeper into his research, he noticed the cats becoming increasingly agitated. Their once playful demeanor turned into erratic behavior, hissing and growling at him as if he was a stranger. It was as if the entity was using them to send a message, to deter him from uncovering the truth. But Alex couldn't be swayed. His determination to unearth the entity's identity drove him forward, even as his own sanity began to fray. He pieced together clues and stories from the past, and it finally hit him like a ton of bricks. The entity was none other than Emily, his ex-girlfriend. The shock was paralyzing. He remembered the argument that had torn them apart, the bitterness that had festered between them. It was a heated exchange that had ended in a storm of emotions, a storm that Emily had tragically lost her life in shortly after their breakup. Realization dawned on Alex: he had to find a way to calm Emily's tormented spirit. Desperation drove him to research rituals, contacting mediums, and seeking out paranormal experts. The cats, now increasingly ill, were a somber reminder of the entity's wrath. One moonlit night, with the cats weak and the apartment heavy with the weight of an entity's rage, Alex stood before a makeshift altar. He lit candles and chanted words he hoped would reach Emily's spirit. He pleaded for forgiveness, understanding, and release. As the final words left his lips, a deep silence settled over the room. The air grew still, and for a brief moment, Alex questioned whether his efforts had been in vain. Then, a soft whisper danced through the air, and he felt a presence, a spectral touch brushing against his cheek. Tears streamed down his face as he felt Emily's pain, her sorrow, her regret. And then, it was gone. The candles flickered out, the oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the apartment returned to its quiet stillness. Alex collapsed, exhausted, onto the floor. The cats stirred weakly, and he realized with a heavy heart that their lives had been the cost of appeasing the tormented soul. In the days that followed, Alex moved forward, haunted by both the memories of Emily and the cats he had lost. He knew that he had done what he needed to do to find closure and peace, but the scars on his heart remained. Whispers of the past continued to linger, a reminder that sometimes, the terrors that haunt us are not the monsters from the shadows, but the unresolved conflicts and emotions that we carry within ourselves. Here shadows danced between dimly lit streets.